Good morning, everybody. I've decided today I'm going to make some cream cheese. I've watched several videos about it, and they always say 5 minutes, and I'm going, yeah, 5 minutes to get the milk warm. It takes longer than 5 minutes. But anyway, I thought I'd give it a try. I'm trying different variations. I've got 3 different acids that I'll use. But today I'm only going to do one variation. So I'll do one variation at a time. So right now I'm just heating up the milk, and I will get the camera to face down, or my phone to face down that way here in a second. One thing that's very, very important when you're doing the cream cheese is constantly, once the temperature of the milk, I think, is around room temperature, just when it starts to get heated up, you have to keep stirring. And the reason why is so nothing sticks and you don't burn it or anything. So you got to constantly stir it. And you just want to make sure that you don't walk away from it. In the beginning, when it hasn't gotten warm yet, it's okay if you got to run and get something, but otherwise you need to constantly stir it. Okay, let me go ahead and move the phone down so you can see what I'm doing here. And I will probably fast forward through some stuff, but here you go. If I can get it down there. Before it gets too warm, I can't stop stirring. There you go. Oops. Bear with me. Okay, so just going to keep stirring. And then what I'm going to do is after it comes to a simmer, and I'm on an electric stove, so it's going to take a little bit longer, and the simmer will be kind of strange because of the coils on the stove. I hate electric, by the way. Electric stoves. I want gas so bad. Anyway, I digress. Once it comes to a simmer, now I haven't seen anything yet about how long to let it simmer. So I just set my timer to about 1 minute and let it simmer for 1 minute. And then we'll add, actually I'm going to use apple cider vinegar this time. It's just a generic Winco brand. So we're going to try that. I haven't tried this one yet. You know, I've made it a couple different variations already. And I was thinking, oh, I should have recorded that, but I didn't. But anyway, I'm just going to sit here and let this simmer. And it'll take longer than 5 minutes probably. But here we go. Okay, it looks like it's getting ready. It's gotten a little frothy. Now, one way that I tell, I've got it on 6 for my stove, kind of on the high side. But it's getting frothy, and it's starting to think about simmering. One way, the real indicator is when it starts filling up the pot. And then the last couple of times I've made it, I just remove the pot, drop the temperature a little bit, and then put it back on until it just stays down and it's on that simmer. Yeah, it's kind of frothy right now on top. And I hear it starting to make the sound, the little simmering sound. Okay, I think it's going to start kind of bubbling up now, or boiling up. Wanting to boil over type. So I'm getting ready to, I'll turn it down just a smidge. And it is simmering now. Maybe I didn't have it too high. Because it didn't, okay, we're simmering now. Oh, there it goes. I got to turn it down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to set my timer. Alexa, 1 minute timer. Okay, oh, see how it's starting to boil up? I just take it up so it cools down a smidge, but I don't really take the heat away from it. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. Now I'm at about a 4, just below number 4. Let's see. And it's simmering. Kind of simmers a little bit differently than a gas stove, but okay, I don't think it's going to boil up anymore. So we'll let it go for the minute, just to kind of cook it. You got to keep stirring it because you don't want it to stick or burn on the bottom. And I'll tell you what, when I pour this out, I'll show you. It's a clean pan. You keep that milk moving. Is it still? Yeah, it's still simmering. Thought maybe I turned it down a little bit too much. But that timer should just be up. I'll remove the lid from the apple cider vinegar. Now the other time Alexa, cancel timer. Okay. So it says add a teaspoon. All the videos I've watched, add a teaspoon at a time, maybe up to a tablespoon at a time. So this time I'm just going to kind of pour in a little dab and see how it does rather than measuring it. Less dirty dishes. Okay, so just a little bit. And then just keep stirring it. Mix it in there real good. Now the first time you add, it won't do any separation. Or it hasn't for me yet. But mix it in there real good. Let it cook in there for a second. Well, a few seconds anyway. Just keep stirring because you don't want it to burn. Okay. And then add your second little splash or tablespoon. Okay. It's going to take a little bit more than I thought it would. Okay, so you just keep adding it until it separates. My sister got organic milk, so it's like, maybe I'm just not putting enough in there. Okay, now it's starting to separate. I don't know if you can see the difference. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more. Just not getting enough of the acid in there. Is it still simmering? Oh, it slowed down simmering. Okay, I'm going to add some more. And you can tell when it's enough. I don't know, it just looks different. I wonder if it's the vinegar I'm using. Because it's only like, what, 5% or something? 3 or 5%. Still should be enough. I mean, lemon juice is enough. Man, it's really different. It looks like it's separated though, but it's see, it's real small curdles. Maybe this one doesn't come out so well. We'll see. It isn't over till it's over. I'm just going to put one more little splash in here and just make it sure everything separates more. I'm not sure I put enough in there. Should measure it out. This is the first time I tried not measuring it. It did separate, but it's just not real. See? A little bit more. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Oh, yeah, it's separating more, too. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove off. And just keep stirring it a little bit. To stir it all in there and make sure it's all mixed well. I'm not really happy with this, but we'll see what happens. Then I'm going to pull this off the stove and set it aside and let it kind of cool just a hair, plus so the acid can sit in there and do more separation. I don't think adding any more is going to do any good. We'll see how this turns out. Not liking the way it looks though. This is a different way. It did separate, but okay. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see how some of the curd has settled in there. It didn't I didn't let it cool too long. You can still see the steam, but I'm looking at it settling, and I figure it's okay. It can cool while it's straining. So what I've got set up here is my bowl. Actually, it's from my KitchenAid, because it's the only thing that I got deep enough to do it. And I've got a strainer, and then I've got a cheesecloth. So what I'm gonna do now is just pour this through. I maybe could have used 2 cheesecloth. And see all that curd on the bottom? So just get that out. And I won't be handling this. I'll just cover it up and let it drain for a little while. And this, I have to let it drain. I'll kind of... And see, nothing's stuck. Easy to wash. It didn't burn anything, so that's why you keep stirring it. And it keeps it all nice and keeps it from sticking in there. So let's see if you can see this. I'll pull it over a little bit. But I'll do this a little bit. I'll probably get a spoon. Actually, let me get a spoon to do that. I wish I had a better kitchen. I need a better kitchen. I really do. I enjoy cooking. It's just me, but during the holidays especially, I hand out little goodies to the neighbors and everything, little plates. I make fudge. I make lemon bars. I make sandies, pecan sandies. I just love to do that for the holidays. Okay, so this is really warm and it needs to drain a little bit. I'll lift that up. See, it's still dripping a little bit, but you can see the whey inside the bowl. And we're going to save that. I haven't figured out what I'm going to use it for, but we're just going to let that drain for a while, and then I'll just keep stirring it up with the spoon, to kind of get it to drain. Now, one thing I've noticed, I end up adding the whey back in to give it the texture that I look for. So I won't let it drain a long time. I'll just let it drain for a little bit to get the majority out, and then I'll add back in. Okay? Okay, so you don't really want to squeeze it. You'd end up with a ball like that, but it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to rush this along a little bit because I have to get somewhere. But, yeah, I don't really squeeze it hard. I just, kind of do that, and it's still dripping out a little bit. Just a little bit. But I'm not going to do it anymore. I might not have to add anything back. But, so there it is. I can break it up, but I don't want to because I'm going to put it in my little food processor mixer thing here, which is slicker than snot. But anyway, let's get this in here. How am I going to... I'm going to break it up anyway. So, because I want it to go in evenly. So there. And when the mixing happens, you kind of... I'll get this bowl out of the way here in just a second. You want to get every little morsel that you can. All this goodness. Now, one thing I need to make clear is that this will not taste like the Philadelphia cream cheese, but it'll taste pure and clean. Okay, we're all done with that. And then the whey, I'm going to put into a canning jar. I think I can do it without the funnel. Watch me make a mess. And just put it into a canning jar. And I won't get it all in there, and that's okay. There we go. And then that will go in the refrigerator until I can figure out what else I can use it for. If anybody's got any ideas, beautiful whey, shoot me some ideas about how I can use it. I'm not going to put that on there tight because it's still warm. It's not hot, but it's warm. So here's my mixer now, and I'm not sure exactly what these things are called, but this thing is slick. I really like it. So I'm gonna, you have it looking like that right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause the video here so I can mix this up, because this is loud. And because I'm not editing my videos yet, and not knowing how, and I still have to work on that. I don't know fast forwarding and all that good stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to pause the video here, and then I'll show you when it's mixed up. Okay, so I mixed it for a minute, and you see how kind of dry it looks. So I'm going to add back some of the whey, but I'm just going to do a little spoonful at a time. So let me get my tablespoons. And you know, this is, the consistency stuff is all up to you. How much you want to put in there. So I'm going to use what's left in here since I've already got the other. So I'm just going to grab a little bit. Just a scoop. This is 2 tablespoon scooper. It's a coffee scooper. So I'm probably not going to, I probably should have grabbed the 1 tablespoon one. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to put this on there, and we're going to pause a second again. Not quite enough, so I'm going to put in some more, and then of course while I'm doing this, I'm going to be scraping down the sides and getting everything in the middle, but I'm going to put in probably 1 or 2 more, and then I'll come back and show you the consistency, and I'll identify how many I put in, okay? Okay, we're at a little bit better consistency, and at this point is when I add about a tablespoon of butter to make it a little bit more creamy. So we're going to add about a tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to chop it up into smaller pieces. Now it's still warm, so the butter should be cream in good. I should have this soften better. We'll see how, well, let's see how it goes. Gotta get a towel here. Okay, I'm gonna pause you again. So here we are. I just stopped it, and I don't want to add any more of the whey back in because then it'll get too runny. But here we go. That's what it's looking like after getting the butter mixed in and everything. Now the consistency isn't, you know, it looks a little grainy. But, you know, this is homemade stuff. This isn't store-bought, and it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals in it. So, yeah, here we go. So I'm going to take my little blade off. And I ended up using, oh, probably about 3 or 4 full scoops. You kind of have to decide what type of consistency you want to how much whey you return to the mixture. Okay? Okay, that's... do that. Okay, and I like to put in a little glass container. This is perfect. It's about a 1 cup. Is it 1 cup? I think it's about a 1 cup or something like that. That's about what you get out of the milk. Now, so I use four cups of whole milk. You use whole fat milk, and that's what I used. And then the acid, you would use I'm right-handed, so I'm going to block your view a little bit. 3 to 4 tablespoons of your acid, and that could be anything. That could be lemon juice, it can be vinegar, white vinegar. This one I tried, as I showed you, it was the store brand apple cider vinegar. And actually, in tasting it, we'll see. We'll get a little tasting thing going here. And of course, taste is personal. It's whatever anybody likes. But let's do this. I'm just going to fill this up. And 4 cups of milk, what's left over for the cream cheese, is perfect for a little cup container. And let me get this all in here. I'll get another thing. I'd use my fingers, but I'm going to be sharing this with somebody, so I'll use the I'll use my fingers to clean the rest of the stuff off, right? Yeah. Let's see, which am I doing? Okay. Now it will all fit in this little container, but I don't usually put it all in there because I taste test and whatnot. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. And it's still a little warm to the touch. You can let it sit on the counter if you want, or you can put it in the refrigerator. I usually just put it in the refrigerator right away, get it cooled down, and everything. Okay. The only thing about these kind of things, they're a little hard to clean out. They got little side things, and then they got this little pointy thing sticking up that holds the blade in place. So it can be, that's why the fingers are useful. Okay, we'll call that good. My fingers can get the rest of that. Let's do this. Yeah, the first time I made this, I don't know, I half expected it to taste close to the Philadelphia, but it doesn't. Well, maybe a little tiny bit, but the thing about homemade, it is so much fresher and natural tasting rather than that. I might have too much in there now. We'll see. Okay. Just put it on down there. Okay. And then I got it's a snapping lid, and I just put it on there. And is it on there? Yeah. It doesn't feel like it. And there you go. You got a nice little container. I put on the top what type of cream cheese it is. So in this case, I'll put Winco apple cider vinegar, or ACV, abbreviate, and then I'll put the date. This will stay in the refrigerator for about a week. Good. I haven't kept it longer than that because it's so good. I just munch it up. But let me adjust the phone. So let's go ahead and give this a little taste. I'm going to do it this way. I don't eat bread and I don't have crackers. I do have pork rinds though. Each different acid gives its own unique flavor. It's amazing how much different they are. But this is Winco's generic apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put it on a pork rind here. Tastes a lot better when it's cold, that's for sure. But yeah, there you have it. That's pretty darn good. Now, I don't eat a lot of chemicals. I am carnivore. And not necessarily by choice. It's because of my stomach. So I don't eat a lot of processed foods. I don't eat any processed foods. I eat meat, animal products only. Minimal on the dairy. So the whey is separated. I notice I don't have a problem with this kind of dairy. But anyway, so there you have it. You do 4 cups of milk. And you Cook it up, get it to a simmer, keep stirring it so it doesn't burn or anything. And then let it simmer. I let it simmer for about a minute. And then I add, I think I'll continue measuring. It says 3 to 4 tablespoons, so I think I'll keep measuring. I usually pour out a little in a little, kind of like a ramekin, and then I use the tablespoons and put it in there. This worked out really good. Oh, as I spill the whey. Yeah, the lid's not tight because it's hot, and I don't want it to seal like that. But anyway, I got a whole, what is this, 16 ounce? Actually, I got more than that. I'm going to end up dumping some whey. And I hear this is really good stuff, and you can do a lot of good things with it. And that's out of 4 cups. I could have put it in a bigger canning jar, but I didn't want to. I didn't need that much. I've got another 16 ounce from my last batch that I made of the cream cheese. But yeah, any ideas on what to do with the whey, please let me know. There you have it. If you have any questions or anything, this is my not 5-minute homemade cream cheese. Because it's when I saw 5 minutes, I'll go, oh, cool, I'm going to try it. Yeah, it took longer than 5 minutes. I think if you really timed it out, somewhere around 20, because you got to wait for the milk to come to temperature. You've got to let it cool down. Then you got to, do the mixing and stuff. I think it's more like 20-minute cream cheese, which is not a problem. I mean, it's better than 4 hours, that's for sure. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, please put them down. If you have any suggestions to add to this, please let me know. And I will come back with the doing lemon juice and white vinegar at another time. I'm not going to do them all 3 right now because I don't have enough milk for one thing. 4 cups of milk. I had a gallon, but it turns out I only have half a gallon left. But anyway, that's for another video. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's the not 5-minute homemade cream cheese. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day.